the next part is just the assembly, and you can do it however you like. But hey, we need to make the chicken first. So I'm just going to rewind this a little bit. And meanwhile, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoy my content. So a lot of you had been asking for egg-free recipes. So I thought, why not make a delicious, iconic chicken sandwich? You can make nuggets with it or just whole chicken as well. Turns out really delicious. And so the first thing we're going to be needing is some buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, use 1 tablespoon of lemon juice per 1 cup of milk. Stir it and just let it stand for at least 20 minutes. Then I'm going to add in my seasoning, some salt, some garlic powder, some chili sauce, the hot sauce, and some red chili powder. You can also use cayenne pepper, and you can also switch the red chili with the hot sauce or otherwise. Now I'm going to marinate my chicken. I'm using chicken thigh pieces, fairly large pieces, and I'm not going to trim all the fat from it. It's ideal to have it with fat because that's what's going to make it super juicy. I like to let it stain a little bit so that there's not lots of water hanging around, especially once you take it out of the freezer and let it thaw. So you just want to let it marinate for at least 4 hours up till overnight. So let's come to the coating now. I have some all-purpose flour, some corn flour, and the corn flour is going to make it really crispy. And then I'm going to season it with some salt, some cayenne pepper, some paprika, some garlic powder, and some black pepper. All the quantities are mentioned in the description box below, along with some other tips and tricks. Also, if you want to prepare this ahead of time, I would not suggest you freeze it, because once you freeze a coated piece of chicken, it's not going to turn up crispy anymore. So what you can do is you can marinate your chicken and put it in the fridge overnight, and then you can also prepare this flour mixture, and then you can put it on the counter, or I just like to put this in the fridge, and you can do that for up to 2 days with the chicken and also with this flour mixture, but make sure that you use it up. Also, you might feel like this is a lot of flour mixture, but you want it to coat your chicken really nicely. And since the chicken needs to marinate overnight, let's come to the mayonnaise. There's nothing much to it, it's just plain old mayonnaise. I'm just gonna take some roasted garlic mayo and I'm just gonna mix it with some hot sauce. It's really that simple. You can adjust the spice level according to your own preference. You can add more or less. I usually eyeball it and taste it as I go. If it's less spicy, I would add more of the hot sauce. If it gets too spicy for me, I would add a little bit more of mayo. If you don't have the roasted garlic mayo, you can use the regular one you have laying around, and that's pretty much it. So to assemble the chicken, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of spoons of the buttermilk mixture into the flour and just going to mix it around. Not too much, but just a little bit. This is going to give little curdles, which are then going to stick to the chicken, and it's going to make it really nice and crispy. Once that is done, I'm going to take my chicken one piece at a time and I'm going to rub it. Gently press and rub it against the flour and all those curdly bits that we just made, and you're gonna start noticing small flakes hanging from the chicken, and that's what we want because this is what's gonna turn really crispy when we fry this up. So what I do is I typically coat all of my chicken pieces with the flour and I let them stand on a wire rack for at least 20 minutes. So what I typically do is I prepare all the pieces of my chicken and then I put my oil to heat up. And for frying, I'm going to use canola oil, and you are going to need a deep bottom pan for frying, enough oil and enough space for a piece of chicken to float upwards, because that is what's going to tell you that it's almost ready. And you want medium to medium high heat. You can test by adding a little flake of chicken or a little flake of that breading to see if the oil is hot enough. You want it to bubble as you put your chicken in it, and do not overcrowd. I know you might be tempted to fry as many pieces as you like, but I like to do 1 or maximum 2 at a time, especially if I'm using a bigger pan. Fry it till it's nice and light and golden brown and the chicken piece floats on the top. And look at that beautiful, glorious piece of chicken. It has got all of those flaky, crispy bits, which are super iconic to a crispy chicken piece. And then you want to let it rest on a wire rack for 2 to 3 more minutes and then serve it up however you want. I'm not going to show you the burger assembly because we did that already in the beginning. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Look at that. in fact hear that glorious crunch. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please do try it and let me know how it turns out, and remember me in your prayers. Until next time, the Homemaker Baker over and out.